Dear students, warm greetings of the day. I am Sucharu Sharma. On behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Hotel Management, Chandigarh, once again welcome you to another session of Bakery and Patisserie. So students, this is our menu 15, which is the last session of the syllabi of semester 5th. So this is all about the plating, the dessert plating, be it in the buffet or be it in the plate presentation. So we are going to learn about the different aspects of plating, plate presentation. Also, we would be learning about the different stages in which we plan and assemble our plating. Similarly, I will be telling you about the different elements which we consider while plating our dessert. So what are we going to learn in today's session? I will be describing you how to design a plating dessert. So designing a plating dessert is very important. Designing means planning. You need to plan how you intend to plate your dessert. That is the first aspect, the first step of plating any dessert. Thereafter, we shall be learning the factors, the different factors which we consider while plating our dessert. And in the end, we will learn how to apply all these principles and what our plan of action was to the final plating. So, let me introduce to the topic. We plan our plate presentation. Our plate presentation should be complex. By complex, I do not mean by any instance that it should be complex for a customer point of view. It should be visibly complex. It should be intricate, but at the same time, from eating point of view, it should be simple. Okay. The texture has to be taken care of. All the important elements of the desserts have to be taken care of, especially the texture, the various elements, the various textures of the various elements in the dessert have to be taken care of importantly. The flavor, the most important element of any dish, be it a dessert or any other dish, is flavor. Okay, without flavor whatsoever and howsoever nice your plating is, if your flavor of the dessert is not good, it's of no use. Creativity, yes. One coming to a fancy restaurant expects us to be creative with our skills. Okay, we need to be creative in presenting our skills onto the plate. A plate is our canvas where we are creative and we apply our creative skills onto the plate. Restaurant theme. You need to take care of the theme of the restaurant in which you are working in. Okay. You are starting your food from the starters to the soup to the main course, and the dessert should also merge with the theme of the restaurant which you are presenting your food in. Okay, it should not be away from the main theme of the restaurant. Continuity, which I already told you, everything should be in a continuity. The guest, it's a journey for a guest. Food is a journey for a guest. So the journey should not break. It should be in a continuity for a guest. And your dessert should be light. It should be refreshing. And it should be intriguing because he is already full with his tummy. Okay, so dessert is a very intricate course of any food. Okay, it's the last course primarily of any food course, but it is a course which will define the overall experience of the customer food eating. Okay, so it has to be light. It should not be heavy on the tummy. We basically consider primarily two stages of the art. Why I am saying this art? As you all know, bakery and confectionery is a combination of science and art. Okay, science is what we prepare initially, a mise in the main course or the main elements of the dish. That is a science. Art is when we assemble and when we plate, when we place those elements, different elements in different fashions onto our plate. That is an art. So basically, there are two stages to it. First is to prepare the elements. The individual elements have to be prepared. Okay, keeping in view the different textural elements, keeping in view the different color elements, keeping in view the theme and the flavor of the dessert. So that is the preparation of elements, and that is our planning, and that is our mise en place. Thereafter, the final assembly, as you can have a look at the picture as well. So this is an art. You need to place your sauces and the main dessert in sync with the environment in which you are placing your dessert. So students, this is a very important slide. Please have a look at this slide very thoroughly, and I strictly suggest you to take a screenshot of this slide as well. Okay, because this particular slide is showing you the elements of the plating, the dessert plating. Okay, The first element is flavor. The flavor of everything which is there on the plate should be complementing each other. Complementing each other as in it should merge with everything else. It should have a distinct flavor of its own. Also, it should merge with the main theme of the main element of the dessert. Okay. Secondly, the texture. We always try to, and we always experience, and we always like to experience the different textural contrasts in our food. If you are having a soft, creamy dessert, if a crunch element is there, we feel good. Our mouth feels good. Our palate feels good. So therefore, I have written there has to be a textural contrast. With crunchy, it goes soft. With soft, it goes crunchy. Okay. Temperature contrast. For example, a hot chocolate sauce. Okay, with a brownie. Okay, or the hot chocolate sauce with the vanilla ice cream. Okay, that is a contrast. With a freezing cold product such an ice cream, you are giving a hot, piping hot sauce. So it has to be, in that way, whereby the customer feels elated. It is an experience, because we are charging our customer for an experience. We are providing him with an experience. Color should not be, there should not be excessive coloring on the plate. Okay, 1 or maximum 2 or 3 colors on maximum they are allowed on the plate. Okay, not more than that. There should not be much of, we don't want to make a rainbow thing on a plate. Okay, usage of 2 to 3 colors, and that to food elements. By colors, what I mean is we should not be using much of artificial colors. Colors can be provided with different food ingredients itself. For example, if we want to provide a green color to something, I will be using a kiwi crush. Okay. For example, to use a red color, I would be using a raspberry crush. So this is the way, we try to include colors into the plate by using the various food elements in itself. And last but not the least, the shape has to be balanced. Okay, it should not be very shaky. It has to be balanced, and yet it should seem as it's a very intricate design. Okay, so nowadays you must have looked in some restaurants, some classy restaurants, that the portion size of the dessert is small. As already mentioned, dessert being the last course of a meal, the portion size has to be taken care of. Okay, 40, 50, 60, 70, this is the normal range of a dessert. Okay, along with the sauce and some other garnishes. Okay, and thereafter we have to look at the shape and the size of the dessert as well. So students, till now I have explained to you the various basics which we apply to the art of plating. Okay, I hope it is clear to you what are the various features and what are the various things we take care of before starting with our plating. I am hereby showing you and displaying to you some of the various aspects of dessert plating, both at a buffet counter of any 5-star property, any hotel. Okay, also I would be showing you the same desserts, the few of the same desserts being plated on a plate in a la carte presentation as well. So students, please have a thorough look at the dessert buffet presentation as well as the presentation of dessert which has been done in the plating style as well. Okay, over here you can see I have tried to inculcate all the basic aspects of plating, be it color, be it texture, be it size, and be it flavor, and be it temperature. Everything has been taken care of. This just is a sample of plating. Okay, the plating can be done, it is very open. We are very open with plating. It can be done in your ways. Okay, for example, in the front row you can have a look. We have a chocolate pastry which is lying on a chocolate sauce, on a bed of chocolate sauce, and what we are using there is some cookie crumble. Now this chocolate pastry on the right hand side in front row is a soft dessert. Okay, and we are placing it on a bed of cookie crumble which will provide an experience of crunch to the guest. So therefore what I am saying is that you need to provide a textural contrast to the palate. So I achieve that textural contrast in that plating of the chocolate pastry. Okay, Similarly, if we come to the garnish should complement the flavor of the main dessert. In this case, the main dessert is chocolate. Okay, the chocolate mousse, the white and the dark chocolate mousse. This is a combination of white and dark chocolate mousse, this particular pastry. And we need to understand the marriage of various flavors with each other. Okay, now with chocolate, orange goes. So I have provided an orange garnish. This is a candied orange garnish which is going with the chocolate pastry, which is going with it. I don't need to put anything extra on the plate. This plate is simply plated, and yet it is having all the necessary constituents of the plating. Okay, if we move to the front row till the extreme left corner and right to me, on the front row itself, I have a Christmas cake slice. Okay, now this Christmas cake is already having so many flavors in itself. It is having the spices, the soaked fruits. Okay, to give it but it was missing in some color, so I provided a color. I made a marzipan carrot and a marzipan leaf with it. Okay, and for the crunch element, I have provided a Florentine cookie, and to serve along with it, the sauce which I am providing is creme anglaise sauce, which will complement this dessert. Okay, so again, if we think of this dessert, I have inculcated all the textural balances, all the flavoral balances, and all the color balances in this particular dessert as well. If we come to panna cotta, which is there in the glasses, now yes, plating does not only mean plates. Okay, plating a dessert not only means that we need to serve our desserts in plate only. We can serve our desserts in glasses. Of course, the portion size has to be taken care of in the glasses as well. Also, the glasses have to be very clean and speckless. Okay, should not be any crack in the glasses, and they have to be of the similar size on a buffet if it is presented. Okay, and the panna cotta Italian simple cream based dessert, I have provided a sprig of mint. Now regarding the sprig of mint, I want to tell you this is a very versatile garnish, and so simple and so versatile. It can provide with a very different natural, I emphasize on the word natural, color contrast in any dessert. Okay, and its flavor is also not very dominating, and it almost goes with every other element on the plate. Okay, if we look at my left hand side, and in the second row next to the panna cotta, I have a tiramisu. As you all know, tiramisu is an Italian dessert. Okay, and we are having a layer of Savoiardi biscuits at its edges, which will provide the necessary crunch to it. Okay, because again, this dessert is having a creamy base in it to itself with mascarpone cheese. Okay, loads of mascarpone cheese, so it's rich, it's heavy. Okay, and we have provided a sort of element of crunch with the Savoiardi cookies at the border. Okay, now if we come over here, that's a Charlotte Royale. Okay, and towards me if we move, that's the same pastry being presented in the buffet style. Okay, this is again a plum cake or a Christmas cake which has been plated over there, but this has been presented in a buffet manner. These are choux buns. So what I have tried to do in my dessert presentation, students, to you all, is I have tried to make a different base. In front of my row, I have a shortcrust based dessert which is a fruit tart. Okay, over here I have a choux base. Okay, over here I have a cream base. Over there the chocolate pastry is mousse based. This is a cake based dessert, the Christmas cake. Okay, so you can say how I have tried to inculcate the different basics of pastry into my desserts. Okay, what I'm trying to emphasize to you is you need to be very thorough with your basics. If you do not know how to make a basic good shortcrust pastry, if you do not know how to make a choux pastry, for this matter I am showing to you a crackling a crackling covered choux pastry bun, which is also known as a profit roll. Okay, what I've done here to provide a color element rather than adding too much extra color, which I already told you that we should not be adding too many colors. Okay, I have covered my choux bun with a crackling base, which is another edible dough. Okay, and once baked, it turned to a brighter variation of redness to it. Okay, and to give it a height, I have used a caramel strand to it. Okay, so please have a thorough look at the buffet counter and the pre-plated desserts as well. Okay, in the buffet technique of dessert presentation, what I am emphasizing over here is, as you can see, the orientation of the desserts is in a similar fashion. Now the shards, the caramel threads are going in the same direction. Okay, not like that one thread is going like this, the other one is going like this. We have to take care of the symmetry. All of the choux buns are of exactly the same size. All of the choux buns are being placed in a particular manner. Similarly, all of the chocolate pastries are arranged in the same manner. Okay, and they are of this exact same size. So this is the beauty of buffet. If you want to give a buffet dessert presentation, you need to take care of the geometry and the symmetry and the size of everything. That is of utmost importance. Okay, whereas in the case of plated desserts, you need to take care of the different elements. There has to be a cakey element, there has to be a doughy element, there has to be a complementary sauce, there has to be a crunch element. Okay, so this was what I wanted to explain to you, and I'm sure that the various aspects of plating the dessert are being thoroughly explained to you. I want to tell you one more thing. The desserts being presented in the glass are known as verrines. It's a technical term for the desserts being presented in the glass, and that is known as verrines. V-E-R-R-I-N-A-S. Okay. If I pick up one of the glasses, I have also tried to give to you a color contrast. I made a base of raspberry compote, and over there I have set my panna cotta. Okay, over there I have set my panna cotta and a maraschino cherry along with a sprig of mint and a chocolate shard going away. So that's just a simple dessert, nothing much intricate in the dessert in itself. What I have tried to use is not to overburden it, not to overcrowd it, so that the dessert in itself does not lose its flavor. Again, the chocolate shards have to move in one direction. Okay. So students, let us summarize what we learned today. Okay. What I was trying to display and what I was trying to show you and what I was trying to tell you rather over here was, you need to think outside the box. We all have an artist hidden in ourselves. We need to bring out that artist from inside to plate. Okay, so we need to think out of the box. Okay. Secondly, not too much is not always good. Our plate should not be overcrowded. You can have a look at all of my dessert presentations, be it a buffet presentation, be it a plate presentation. I have not overburdened or not overcrowded. I have not put everything which comes to my mind onto a plate. So in the case of plating, in the case of dessert plating, for that matter, less is always more. Okay. Multiple sense hit. With what I mean is multiple sense hit, that you should be very thorough with the flavoral contrasts and the flavoral aspects of every ingredient. You should know what is going with your plate. For that matter, you need to read your books. You need to experiment with your ingredients. You should know that orange goes with chocolate. You should know that cinnamon goes with apple. You should know that basil goes with tomato. We take care of, if we speak of the continental dishes. Okay. So in the case of desserts, we should know what goes with what. Not like that we are putting just for the sake of it. No. Okay. And everything on the plate has to be 100% edible. I'm not supposed to place a cinnamon bark on the plate to make my dessert more appealing. No, that is not the motive behind it. Okay, everything has to be very it has to be easily edible. Even these caramel shards, threads what I have made, they have to be thin, like this. Okay, the guest should not be making an effort to break. Okay, his teeth should not be making efforts to break your garnishes. Presentation is one thing, but giving it a practical, edible aspect is also very important. Okay, but at the same time, in such a small dessert, if you are able to provide too many flavoral contrasts, then it is your win. It is your actual win. Okay, what goes inside, it should explode in your mouth and various flavors should come out. Okay, it should leave a very refreshing and a feel good effect after taste. And last but not the least, the last point is very important, students. Inspiration from classical steps. I mean, we should not forget our base. Firstly, we should memorize our base. We should be very thorough with our ingredients. We should be very thorough with our elements. Everything which you are seeing over here, everything has a very theoretical, conceptual, strong base. Okay, I made a shortcrust pastry. How thin, how thick my shortcrust pastry should be. I made a choux pastry. I should know how to make a choux pastry first. The plating comes after that. Okay, I should know the proper texture of my caramel. I should know what is caramel. I should know how to make what are the different flavors in my plum cake. I should know how much gelatin should go in a panna cotta. If it's not too rubbery, not too soft. I should know the different textural contrasts of my tiramisu. Okay, my tiramisu, I have added coffee liqueur to it. I have added kalua to it. Okay, so I'm not moving away from classics. Now tiramisu is a very classical dessert, as you all know. I'm not putting anything else rather than coffee. If I'm adding orange, if I'm adding cointreau to my tiramisu, I've seen many restaurants they try to add cointreau and orange flavored tiramisu, but I don't agree with that, because classical means classical. You need to stay with your basics. Okay, now similarly in a chocolate pastry, I should know how to set my mousse. I should know how foamy, how light should my mousse be. The mousse dessert, if I'm presenting to you, it should be light. It should not feel heavy on your palate. Okay, so students, this was my small presentation for you guys. This being the last menu of semester 5th in bakery and confectionery. I, on the behalf of my entire team of Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Hotel Management, Chandigarh, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, because you have, so patiently seen all of our demonstrations over here earlier as well. Okay, me and my colleague Chef Bhanu, we have tried to provide our best presentations to you for your learnings and for your future endeavors. You can always get back to us in case of any query. Okay, we will always try to help you and solve your query whatsoever possible manner should it be. And I thank the National Council for Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Noida, for giving us the opportunity, and I also thank my principal for giving us an opportunity so that we can showcase our talents and we can teach you guys the basic aspects of the bakery, the basic aspects of the pastry section. And I congratulate and I wish the best of your success forever. And thank you so much, students. This being a very tough time for all of us, I sincerely hope that every one of us, gets past this tough time. And thank you once again. Thank you.